So, today we are unfortunately not gonna go ahead with Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Well, yeah, we are actually indeed gonna go ahead with it. Just wanted to say, we're gonna go through some Reddit things, but I don't feel that it makes sense because it doesn't, Therefore, we are gonna not go through Reddit things, but we're rather gonna go through some Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carson things. And it's not gonna be that of a long episode, I don't have that much time, but period. You won't be able to empty your bucket list, which was the last one we went through yesterday, and today we're gonna go ahead with point 4, never market your good deeds. These days, people do exactly the opposite of what Richard says in his book. Yes, some people contribute silently and help millions of people without even mentioning their names or talking about it on social media or press. But most people give value for the sake of acknowledgement, most of the time, people have selfish reasons for doing charity kind of things. Richard questions this approach of doing good deeds and marketing it to people. Help should be personal. Those acts of kindness shouldn't be done with expectations. If you don't want people or anybody, or if you don't want to help anybody, it is fine, but don't help or give value to people for the sake of presenting yourself as some kind of leader. There's no point in faking it. At the end, you will never feel the joy, and you could get just by doing small private help. And also just get joy out of that, and also get the acknowledgement out of that. If I'm helping somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that I have to post it on social media, but this person is probably going to be extremely fucking thankful for whatever I'm doing. On the other hand, I think there are certain instances where posting on social media and kind of viralizing it a bit makes sense if you're willing to make other people do the exact same thing as well. If you want other people to do what you're doing, then it makes sense to share it and post it and whatever. But then it really does matter how you portray yourself, how you're setting everything up, what kind of video or audio or whatever it is. Very, 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 very small line of either you're just an idiot or you're maybe even kind of the opposite of an idiot, but also in a bad way. Like either you're kind of trying to get the acknowledgement and it feels like, okay, you just do whatever good deed you're doing just for the press, quite. Or on the other hand, it is like, okay, you could do it better, and why are you doing just only this and whatnot? Like there's a small path of good here, at least at my point of view. Help, but don't pretend to help. Don't make a big deal out of it. Got the idea? Okay, let's move on to the next lesson. Help others become glorious. Ever since social media became accessible to all, everyone has started posting a lot of content about themselves. But if you observe the trend closely, the purpose or thought behind posting self-promotional content is to say, look how cool I am. Ego is what drives most people today. People don't care about others. All they care about is showing how amazing they are and why everybody should follow them. Such people live under the belief that they are some holy beings and are different than other people. But what Richard says is different. He says one shouldn't hawk all the glory to himself. Make other people feel glorious. Let me explain. People want acknowledgement, right? So let them have it. That will give you more confidence and pleasure than you would get with hogging all the glory due to your ego. Let go of your ego, provide more than you can take. It's kind of a secret sauce of successful people. According to my observation, most successful people grow by helping other people. And I think this is indeed the case. And it makes sense, and I think it is also a good thing. Let's think about you having a following, and you being able to help somebody else just start their business, get more followers themselves by just shouting them out, by talking about them, by giving praise to them. And I think, my point of view, that having an audience is also, the problem there is, okay, I'm just moving ahead from the point where you already have a following. But what I want to say is, When you're having a following and you do just have some friends that are doing something, it is tremendous if you're able to shout them out. It is tremendous if you're able to help them start their thing just because you have a following. On the other hand, you could also just help those people that you want, the people you want to follow you. If this does make sense, by just talking about the things that you know about, by doing whatever. This is something that I have to think about more indeed. I often just make the podcast because of the sake of making the podcast. That's quite it. But on the other hand, there's actually, I think we all can do better at just trying to help others by doing whatever we're doing. Point 6, and this is also going to be the last one for today, I guess. Well, no, we're going to go ahead with 7 as well. Your life isn't some rehearsal for a future event. You shouldn't be living in the past and future. Yes, planning for the future and reflecting on the past is good, but remember that you live in the present moment, not in the future and definitely not in the past. Jump between the present and future in your mind, but avoid getting trapped there. Some people die preparing for the future. They forget to pay attention and care to what they already have. They get stuck into the loop of do more, prepare more, do more. They think after doing enough preparing for the future, they will finally be able to relax. Sadly, that day never comes. There is always something that needs to be done for the future. For instance, you might think that you don't have to read books after finishing academic education, but the truth is, education never ends. You will have to educate yourself. There will always be more books to read. Some things never end. Focusing on the present thus becomes essential. You must be at pace with what you have. One should live his life with gratitude. And also you shouldn't be living a life that just leads to a different kind of life in the future. I just get the whole hustle thing. I just get the whole, okay, I'm going to work now and then I'm going to relax my whole life long. But the two problems that I'm seeing there is, first of all, what about living your life right now as well? Unless you're doing that and unless just hustling is the way to live your life and this is just something that you enjoy. And on the other hand, are you indeed going to get there? And on the third hand, are you really then going to enjoy it? After all those years of hustling and just working quite a lot and this being your life, are you going to enjoy doing nothing all day long? Because I think I wouldn't. And this is also one of the reasons why I really try to go for the marathon, just going for the long run and setting up my life in a way that lets me lead it in an amazing way so that I like it and love it, every single bit of it. But on the other hand, just get done those things that I want to get done, but quite in the long run, if this makes sense, just basically getting everything out of everything or a bit of everything. Everyone is your teacher. Imagine if everyone, including you, were enlightened. What the world would look like then? Richard asks you to think the same thing but with subtle change. Think of yourself as a fool and think of others as geniuses or enlightened. What do you think a fool should do if that were the case? Ideally, a fool must learn from people who aren't fools. Every person you meet can teach you something. If you go by this attitude, you will soon find yourself becoming more confident and enlightened. Every person is your teacher, and this world is a classroom, as Richard says. I do want to go through the next one as well, but I think that I'm gonna read the headline. Patience brings you closer to the peace. That being said, I actually feel like that is a pretty cool book about, you gotta have discipline, but on the other hand, just don't kill yourself. There's no point in doing so. I really like it, As funny as it may sound, but the last 2 books that I went through after actually quite a long time of not going through any books, unfortunately, I don't know why I've kind of lost that. Those 2 books really kind of were the books that I was trying to find and I actually needed, and me kind of supporting my thoughts and my current life situation quite, my current life situation being, don't fuck yourself. You just don't have to die. You can also just relax sometimes. And it is fine to, not kill yourself every day by doing just a tremendous amount of things. Anyway, that being said, gonna see you the next time. Bye bye.